Matthew Ward message. Rhythmic breathing. Near the peak of chaos. Predictions with loving greetings from all souls at this station. This is Matthew. Dear ones, please inhale gently and deeply. Hold the breath. Now slowly release it. We are asking you to do this because your days are filled with responsibilities and you tend to forget about this rhythmic breathing that pulls energy into your body, raises its vibratory rate, and relieves tension as you exhale. Doing this regularly also strengthens your conscious alignment with soul-level awareness and helps you maintain balance in mind, body, and spirit. The dark ones, who still have a stranglehold on information but are losing their struggle to stay in control of the global economy, are pushing chaos toward its peak. We have not given timeframes because a situation that seems to be steadily developing can change in the blink of an eye when a new, different wave of energy from thoughts and feelings shoots into the collective consciousness and changes the timeframe or replaces the situation with a new possibility that has more potential for development. That said, the Dark One's energy streamers have unstoppable momentum in their downward spiral, and we estimate the peak can be reached in 3 to 4 months. Prior to that, they will pull out all the stops to stay in power. Afterwards, everything with dark intention will start to lessen. Once set in motion, energy streamers must run out their course. They cannot stop abruptly midway, so the initial stages of diminishing chaos and darkness will not be publicly obvious. Now we shall respond to your interest in the 2 areas of major conflict that are having worldwide effects. Mainstream media report that the United States took preemptive action to stop Iran's plan to attack Israel and other Middle Eastern countries, and the U.S. is winning this operation. There are, however, some significant digressions from the blame game, threats, false claims, and false denials. A few political analysts and historians are speaking about the United States' history of meddling in Iran's governance. National leaders and military top brass are pointing out Israel's history of initiating wars with its neighbors. The usual allies of Israel and U.S. are not supporting them. Any criticism of Israel or its Zionist movement is labeled anti-Semitism, yet many rabbis are denouncing the movement and saying it does not represent them or Jewish Israelis or Jews anywhere else in the world. Zionism is part and parcel of the Rothschilds' Nazi regime that persecuted Jews and, during World War II, killed millions of them and others who also were deemed inferior beings. The goal of the Rothschilds and their adherents is the same as the Rockefellers and theirs, eliminating most of humanity and enslaving the rest along the way to total control of the world. In the context of planetary history, the region now called the Middle East originally was populated by souls from consciously and spiritually evolved civilizations. For millennia, everything in the entire area flourished. Then darkness entered, and for long, long ages the region was steeped in the dense energy of oppression, brutality, male domination, and warring. The State of Israel was birthed in that density, and bellicosity has reigned ever since the country was formed by banking interests in the City of London in 1947. Since then, the United States has been Israel's staunchest supporter and largest financial sponsor. Now the leaders of those 2 countries are spreading the war they started in Iran and are trying to escalate the situation into WWI. They will fail. We digress to reply to a question that is pertinent here. Is fake Trump calling the shots in Iran and Israel? Maybe the whole Mideast. So it would seem, but he is only the mouthpiece for the dark ones within and beyond that administration who are calling the shots. However, some military commanders are refusing to obey fake Trump's orders and, out of public view, President Trump and other national leaders are planning how to end this war and make viable peace treaties. Now then, the fighting between Russian and Ukrainian troops never has been a war as portrayed by major media. Nazis who fled to Ukraine when World War II was winding down have spent 80-some years turning that country into a hotbed of criminal activity. As their current puppet president, Vladimir Zelensky has become wealthy, but most Ukrainians know nothing about any of that. The Light Forces gave Russia the mission to find and destroy bioweaponry and adrenochrome labs and storage facilities, cyberspace hacking headquarters and money laundering centers, and to rescue children and women being held captive until sold for heinous purposes. The mission to expunge all evildoing in Ukraine will continue until there is certainty it has been completed. Rising vibrations are undergirding White Hat's efforts to purge the dense energy throughout those 2 major areas of conflict and everywhere. Alcid exists in the world during this ultimate stage of the battle between the light forces and the dark forces that has been raging since antiquity. Down through the ages, the territories fought over and the types of weaponry changed, and so did the reasons for engaging in war. But always the higher dimension of all conflicts throughout this universe has been the battle between the opposing energies of the light and the darkness. I've read of catastrophic events happening between now and June in California, NYC, Florida, and Texas. They talk of millions dying in 3 cities alone. I looked to see if these were AI generated, but didn't see that. Whether humanly or technologically produced, that kind of false information is disseminated to create the fear energy dark ones need to survive. They are desperate, and spreading fear by that means is faster, easier, and cheaper than paying individuals to instigate turmoil and violence. Please do not believe any grave predictions. When you cannot discern whether information is valid, ask within, then clear away your thoughts. If information is true, you will feel a flowing sensation and lightness in the heart space. You will feel heaviness and a little tug of resistance in that space when information is false. As God told my mother, the heart is the seat of the soul, and the soul knows what is true and what is not. Lately, the USA has been inundated with lots of snow, and people who tested it found strange hydroparasites that do not respond to ivermectin or funben. Can you ask Matthew about chemtrails that are crisscrossing skies all over the world? The devastation/poisoning of our lands, and the effect these horrible parasites will have on humanity's health? I've heard of medbeds, but am wondering when, and if they will ever come out to heal us. Readers also asked about long-term effects of vaccines and chemicals in food and drinking water. The explosion of autism, children and adults diagnosed with ADD and ADHD, childhood disease outbreaks, Bill Gates' plan to seed the atmosphere with sun-blocking elements to minimize the dangers of climate change. Will the next generation inherit parents' health issues caused by toxic substances? Will programmed microchips in vaccines control all COVID-19 vaccinated people? Because chemicals in food and drinking water and toxins in chemtrail spray have been well publicized, their effects depend in large measure on the degree of fear in thoughts and feelings about them. The amount of toxins a body has absorbed also is a factor, but less effective. Although man-made chemicals are not compatible with body's chemistry, they do not cause disease in a healthy body. It is completely different with vaccines. This is a matter of the extent of their damage. The medical industry claims there is no evidence of a relationship between infant vaccinations and the astronomical rise in autism. Authentic autism is an extremely rare condition chosen in the soul's contract and the family's pre-birth agreement. The raft of vaccines administered to infants causes the harsh symptoms of that condition. The vaccines also are responsible for sudden infant death syndrome, commonly called crib death, learning disabilities, and poor physical coordination. WHO, NIH, CDC, and the other alphabet agencies in Western medicine have been successful so far in covering up the vast numbers of deaths and severe health issues directly related to the ingredients in so-called vaccines. They also attribute vaccine-caused health issues to long COVID. The facts about that pseudo-pandemic and its vaccination mandates, which lawsuits are rightfully claiming are crimes against humanity, will come forth along with other truths in the cleansing of Earth. The outbreaks of contagious childhood diseases that were thought to be eradicated happen when a vaccine manufacturer puts the pathogens that cause those diseases in some syringes. Those are sold to pediatric clinics in areas where the dark ones want the outbreaks to occur. Pharmaceutical companies that made large quantities of drugs needed a market for them. Thus, stress, depression, lack of concentration, and agitation due to circumstances were labeled neurodevelopmental disorders and named attention deficit disorder. Later, hyperactivity was added, ADHD. The drugs become addictive, exacerbate stress, depression, and so forth, and generate health issues for which other drugs are prescribed. The dark ones in the medical and pharmaceutical industries who have perpetrated and perpetuated harmful practices know that bodies have self-healing mechanisms and strong immune systems. They design treatments and drugs to weaken or destroy those innate abilities. Dear ones, now that we have spoken about the health issues of interest and placed responsibility where it belongs, we shall tell you why you can feel greatly encouraged. Let us start with Bill Gates' plan because we can do that quickly. It never will get off the ground. We add that he knows climate change is a ruse, one of the principal parts of the Rockefeller-Rothschild world control agenda, and the sun is body's great benefactor. Members of one of the highly advanced civilizations helping Earth have manifested as cloud formations that sweep the atmosphere and neutralize the most toxic particles. The spray and chemtrails, snow, acid rain, and other pollutants are not good for any life form, but their lethal elements have been removed. Scientists in the extraterrestrial special forces, the highly evolved souls living among you, erased vaccines' microchips' most influential programming, thereby rendering it only minimally effective. Had they eliminated all programming, quality control measures would have detected a total absence. Ever-rising vibrations will start alleviating or eliminating minor health issues and strengthen or restore body's self-healing abilities and immune systems. The response of health issues caused by COVID-19 vaccines to high vibrations depends mainly on the kind and extent of damage. For instance, early stages of anaphylaxis and a mild heart disease, two of the issues, are likely to respond favorably while advanced stages and a heavily damaged heart are not. Cancer, another of the issues, already is being cured by alternative healthcare methods. Long-suppressed discoveries by Nikola Tesla and Royal Rife that specific frequencies can successfully treat certain maladies are coming into use. Med beds, which operate similarly, have not been perfected, but work to improve them is underway. None of that technology heal. Its frequencies activate body's self-healing mechanisms, and people's belief that they are being healed is important. The carbon-based cells of individuals who have absorbed light are changing into the crystalline structure that is impervious to illness and organ deterioration. Most souls in the next generation will come in with that structure and will not be affected by parents' compromised health conditions. The parasites mentioned in the question can be eliminated by the natural substances that are their enemies. So to say, the therapies and natural substances now called alternative will replace current practices after the greed and harmfulness in Western medicine are exposed. And all damage to bodies and control of minds disguised as healthcare will be ending. Dear ones, a vital part of well-being is knowing that you have the power to achieve and maintain optimum physical, mental, and emotional health. Bodies are energy vibrating at one rate or another along a bandwidth of frequencies. The condition of your body is in accordance with its vibratory rate, and the rate is determined by the energy of your thoughts, feelings, actions, and reactions. Filling them with love light is the key. Let us end our message with still more encouragement. You are smack dab on target with Arnold's estimate that Earth will be in her golden age in 35 to 40 years. He said that almost 3 years ago. And along the way you will welcome myriad grand changes. Beloved sisters and brothers, all light beings in this universe are cheering you ever onward and supporting you with the power of unconditional love. Love and peace. Suzanne Ward, protecting the foundations of the heart and the earth, dearest ones. Moving into our crystalline heart/soul portal and securing our foundations are vital during this current transition. A transition introduced by the number 44, which represents the core essence of what many of us are working on during April, stabilization and recalibration toward a more enlightened frequency, while also helping planet Earth secure its foundations as it continues to regenerate from sustained damage. A regeneration that many of you are experiencing as your entire lives change thanks to your new state of enlightened being. It is not chaos. It is the divine order within you reorchestrating everything in a new and perfect way. The foundations of our new body and our new life must be built upon an open mind and heart, completely detached from fourth-dimensional astral influences and everything that has hurt us, so that our heart may be free to be love for all, allowing the infinite flow of divine abundance in and out. This is why severing ties with the astral plane and balancing our fourth astral body is so important to remain in divine love within the portal of our higher soul/heart, unmoved by any lower energy or influence. 4 is the heart, because 4 is love, as love is the only pillar that sustains, appreciates, and neutralizes. It is the solid foundation upon which everything in our universe is built. 4 is the divine order behind everything and the pillars we are creating now within our new crystalline ascension bodies and on Earth to create corridors for soul transition. The number 4 represents the original divine blueprint that we are reclaiming in our 12th dimensional light body and on the terrestrial template, restoring the anomalies and damage caused by human hands during this period of great chaos, in response to the planetary progress made. In this period, both individually and globally, Consolidating the foundations of the Earth is vital amidst the deep polarization of the 3D world, even though many of us have built our personal harmonic reality outside the chaos raging at this moment. However, we must not forget our primary purpose for coming to planet Earth, which was not only to evolve personally, but to help those who are ready to transcend this dimensional plane. Many of you, as Earth healers whose mission is to restore Earth's first chakra, its foundations, the land, the soil, the mountains, and all living forms, are now working to stabilize the 10th dimension of the Earth's fabric in Iran, as well as in many other places where foundations are being damaged to create new and false ones, also contributing to the process of soul emancipation that the Earth is undergoing as many souls and living forms leave this world. With Uranus entering Gemini on April 25th, many rigid mental structures will collapse, profoundly affecting the collective. As Uranus in Gemini requires flexibility and adaptability to change, restructuring our foundations at all levels so that we can rebuild a more unified reality. We are already sensing the change in our mental bodies as the structures that once dominated our thoughts and lives begin to fade, and we learn to take control of our lives at a time when these structures seek to govern our consciousness. Sovereignty does not consist in denying what is happening or turning away from it. Sovereignty consists in knowing what is happening and yet choosing to remain in a frequency of love such that nothing can disturb our choice to be in our hearts, in the love that we are, and, regardless of what seems to happen, to sow more harmony and compassion for all. May you continue to be a bridge of love between the two worlds, dearest ones. Within infinite love, Natalia, Alba, the Elders. Why are these insights important? Do you understand that there is meaning in what we share? Do you realize that what we share involves not just current issues, but those of centuries to come? You see, initially not much will change because for some, things must pass through the mind, and the mind will not delegate relevance to what is a spiritual goal. But we say it is not so, as the mind is a mental consideration and does not take all relevant components into account. The mind and its mental goals you see, the mind will not allow this goal to be considered seriously. It will say that this is not a profit-generating enterprise, nor is it something tangible, and therefore not relevant to its way of thinking. It is not about going, doing, and achieving what the mind tries to make this or that person do and be. But we want to say there is more, and we wish to share more. Do you understand that all mental goals and plans will not advance you in any way beyond this time frame? In other words, you cannot take any of these physically acquired things with you. All of this is temporary. This world is illusory. It is not permanent, but falsely anchored. You see, you must not be as your mind suggests, but you must understand that which is not seen, that which remains invisible. This is what we seek to share today. Namely, that many things cannot be seen in the way they could best be seen and understood. A spiritual breakthrough might be more important. We have spoken of this before, but we hope you can fully understand how to distinguish a valid use of your time from an improper one. On your deathbed, will a to-do list still make sense? Will a long list of commitments or mental aspirations be relevant at that moment? We hope you agree that in that moment you might think more about spiritual goals and what you have achieved in that regard. So, if you get distracted and lose yourself in an activity that feeds the ego or some other egoic aspect, would you say that activity has validity? Are you trying to empower someone else or your ability to reach this or that goal? You don't have to share it directly, but you must understand internally what is happening and what you stand to gain or lose. It is an answer that will give you direction and guidance for the future. The ego loves to prevail, so try to understand if at this stage of the game you feel a certain degree of this or that. You are the only judge and jury in this case. You must love yourself enough to consciously evaluate what you do or do not do. It is as simple as it sounds. What truly matters, and so, today, observe what is being taken into consideration. Observe what concerns you. Observe your choices and notice the choices that abound in a completely conventional way. Observe. Be loving and kind. Recognize what moves things forward and what does not. What deserves your time and what hinders it. Be the wise guardians of all that passes before your gaze and perspective. We suggest you examine your life carefully. Do so and then act to implement the necessary steps. And, as we have already recommended, look with discernment. Choose wisely. The illusion of death, the loss of a loved one, is one of the saddest and most heartbreaking traumas we can suffer on this physical plane of existence. From the perspective of the deceased, their transition is not sad at all. They move into a higher and subtler dimension of consciousness which, compared to the physical world, is pervaded by the love of dear friends and a living light visible everywhere they look. They feel filled with bliss in a world where their physical infirmities have been left behind. In the spiritual world, everyone appears and feels young. If they were older when they left the physical world, they are happy to discover they look like a 30-year-old again. Soon, they are ready to begin a completely new phase of their life and seek new paths for personal growth. Their journey begins with an orientation center where they acclimate to the new, brighter environment. Afterward, their guide leads them to a great reunion with their closest friends, the soul aspects of their nearest and most immediate soul groups. People belong to an immediate soul group, typically composed of about 9 souls. Their group will have a strong bond with 2 or more other soul groups. They will also share links with their larger soul family, which typically numbers 1,000 or more souls. From the perspective of the one who has passed on, their existence has been filled with love, light, and the joy of reuniting with the souls of their closest friends. None of the members of their soul group will miss this reunion, because even if some of them may be currently incarnated in the physical world, their souls maintain their awareness in the subtle realms. Meanwhile, here in the physical world, those who remain feel lonely and sad for the loss of their loved one. If the spirit of the loved one visits, attempts to comfort the bereaved often fail, as their presence evokes memories of time spent together and, not consciously perceiving the spirit's visit, they feel even sadder and lonelier. The irony lies in the fact that every night, when the physical person falls asleep, their brain prepares for nightly rest, but their spiritual body departs to visit the same world as their deceased loved ones. The only functional difference between sleep and physical death is that, with sleep, you re-inhabit your physical body in the morning. At night, you can spend as much time as you wish in the company of your loved one. In the morning, however, when you regain possession of your physical body, your brain wakes up and a veil or barrier is created between most of the night's memories and your waking state. It is as if you lived in a house with an upper floor and a lower floor. You spend the day on the lower floor and, at night, you go upstairs. Your deceased loved ones live upstairs. But there is something strange about the stairs. They are shrouded in a veil of oblivion that steals your memories when you return to the lower floor. It is all part of the living in separation package that we are exploring in this physical world. It consoles us to think that our loved ones have moved to a happier place and to remember that, despite appearances, they have not truly disappeared from our lives. They are just upstairs, and their thoughts are within reach. Just one welcoming thought away. Seraphina. Encouragement and guidance from Archangel Michael Seraphina. Good morning, my friends. Here I am, another day, and I am grateful for it. I see people who are so tired and discouraged, who would like to leave, and I understand them because I have felt that way too. But no more. I desire to have a healthy, strong, and young body, in tune with my optimistic vision of the future on this splendid planet. My greatest wish is to obtain a perfectly healthy human body with which to venture into the coming dimensions. I would greatly appreciate and be deeply grateful for your words of wisdom, your involvement, and your encouragement. I am open to receive. A.A. Michael, I am Michael. My dear lady, yes, you have been through the ups and downs of this ascension journey, and you are not finished yet. There is still much to come. But this is the adventure, the game, the challenge. You are well aware that you created your own path through this labyrinth. So, make it light or shadow as you please, because in the end, it will still lead you home. We can tell you this morning that many of the physical things that concern you will not exist for much longer, for a myriad of reasons. Watch them pass and do not interact. See only the essence of these game pieces moving on this giant chessboard that is Earth's ascension. Do not lose sight of the goal. Stay firm and do not let yourself be distracted or involved by the side shows of the circus. The scenic detours are now set aside. Focus, intention, piercing, gaze, right thought, unity. These are your tools. Let everything be what it is and bless it on its way. Be just an observer. Do not participate in these games. You are a pillar. Be such. You are a channel for love. Be such. Right now you need nothing else. Know that I am always with you. I am your Michael. The Pleiadian Council of Light. The situation has escalated. This is an important step. Greetings, beloved ones. We are the Pleiadian Council of Light. It is always a pleasure to connect with all of you. Thank you for this transmission. Today we wish to share some reflections on the profound change taking place in your energies, on the intensified vibrations enveloping the Earth, and on the significance of the energetic vortices in play. As you perhaps sense in your being, your world is going through a major evolutionary leap. This is not a simple adjustment. It is a massive energetic shift that is transforming everything dear and familiar to you. Vibrations have intensified, creating ripples that propagate and revive your consciousness, pushing you toward expansion and awakening. What once seemed distant is now extraordinarily close. It is an invitation to embrace a new way of being, an opportunity to realign with the higher frequencies of love, unity, and peace. The high energies currently permeating your reality are like the radiant light rays from Alcyone, our central star, as you pass through its photonic belt. These high vibrational frequencies are enveloping your planet, ushering in a period of profound energetic transformation. It is crucial to understand that this is not simply an individual path, but a collective evolution. As Earth's frequency rises, the consciousness of humanity is called to rise with it. These frequencies challenge the dark forces that have sought to maintain control over your beloved Earth. The Archons, those who have manipulated and enslaved humanity throughout its existence, are feeling the pressure of this energetic shift. Their reign, built on fear and deception, is being dismantled by the unstoppable force of divine light. They are finding that the same dark spells they cast to control the minds and hearts of humanity are turning against them, making their tactics ineffective. In this intense atmosphere, the veil is thin, almost transparent, revealing long-hidden truths. Many of you are experiencing sudden insights and awakenings. It is here, dearest ones, that you are invited to embrace your inner power. You are not mere passive observers. You are active participants in this divine intervention. In these precious moments, vortices of light are opening all over the Earth. These swirling energies are alive and pulsing around you, just like a whirlpool of light, enclosing the potential for transformation. Your Earth itself is a vibrant network of these energy centers where ley lines intersect and cosmic energies converge. It is through these vortices that high-frequency light can enter, elevating the consciousness of all who inhabit your sacred Earth. You might feel the pulse between these energetic vortices and your individual experiences of awakening. Just as a vortex amplifies and empowers energy, so does your inner light, vibrating more intensely and expanding. As you face the challenges posed by the Archons and their matrix of illusion, remember that these energy centers within you are gateways to your higher self. You are far more powerful than your captors. These vortices remind you that you are connected to the infinite light, every breath intertwined with eternal existence. We invite you to consider the power of community during this period of transformation. When individuals come together by harnessing the energy within their own vortices, they create a collective resonance of joy, wisdom, and compassion. This is the force that will ultimately dissolve the dark forces seeking to suppress the evolution of humanity. Understand, beloved, that the dark forces have operated under the illusion that they could dominate the light. They used manipulation, fear, and division to control and enslave the human spirit. Yet, as we observe from our vantage point, they are now facing the repercussions of their actions. The same darkness they once believed gave them power is now their undoing. With every high vibrational wave that sweeps over your Earth, the illusions they created are dissolving. Accountability for their actions is catching up to them, and their grip on humanity is loosening. They counted on humanity's confusion, on its disconnection from the truth of the light that resides in each of you. But now, dearest ones, as you recognize your deep connection to the universe, you scatter their myths and lies. This is a crucial time to awaken your divine nature and embrace the light you carry within. Understand that in every moment you are co-creating your reality with every thought, intention, and action. The challenges you face are not obstacles, but opportunities to shine brighter, to radiate with love and compassion even in the face of darkness. You may sense the urgency in the air, as divine justice is manifesting on your earth. This accountability you seek is being reflected back to the archons. Their time is running out, as higher dimensional frequencies nullify their power. This profound transformation is a collective journey involving all of humanity and all sentient beings who have walked the earth. Remember, dearest ones, that you are the light. You are the frequencies that rise above the chaos. Embrace the energetic changes. Welcome the transformation of consciousness. Every challenge you face is designed to elevate you, not to diminish you. It is a glorious journey that you have chosen to undertake. We see you, we honor you, and we love you immensely. Know that as you embrace this period of transformation, you are supported by the divine light of the Supreme Creator, by your many families from the stars, and by all of us in the Pleiades. We stand by you in this sacred journey, and together we rise. We love you, and we are here with you. We are the Pleiadian Council of Light.